Well, good evening, everybody. So good to see you all this evening. Thank you for joining us for Team Eagle's Momentum Monday Zoom chat. We're especially happy to see so many of you tonight because I know this is a very busy time of year. Somebody already said they were, was it Cheryl? You said you were shopping fatigued, I think was the expression. So we really appreciate you carving out this time this evening. As you all know, we are Mick and Jenny Daly, National Marketing Directors in your support line with Juice Plus, and we live in the beautiful, somewhat cold mountains of Colorado. It's looking very white, and of course all the Christmas tree is up, the decorations are up, and we're definitely getting into the festive spirit. But as always, let's kick off this call by recognizing a lot of new people to Team Eagles. We're excited to have you all aboard. So a warm welcome to Brandy Drummond in Wyoming, sponsored by Michelle Sassy, to Ingrid Jackson and Elida Hernandez, both in California and both sponsored by Angelina Santana, to Joan McFadden and Jeff Harris, both in Arizona and both sponsored by Nikki Golly. And then also welcome Diana Aviles, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. We always struggle over that with Daly as well. Some people call us Dali. But anyway, Diana, you're in Texas and you were sponsored by Chelsea Jesko, and then Nicole Baker in Arizona, sponsored by Amanda Schneider. So welcome all of you. We look forward to meeting you. If not before the conference in April of next year, then maybe there's a boot camp somewhere in your area. I know a bunch of us are going off to the Las Vegas boot camp in January. Another great way to learn all about this business and to become successful. So we also have a couple of promotions to recognize. A 2,000 plus fast track promotion, Janelle Erickson in Arizona, sponsored by Sarah Wall. And that's particularly exciting because the bonus money for the 2,000 plus promotion up until the end of December has been increased from $250 to $300. So each of Janelle and Sarah will be receiving that check from the Juice Plus company in the next few weeks. And then we also have a first-time qualifier, and that is Sarah Wall. So congratulations, Sarah. Qualifying your business, that's definitely one of the foundations of this business. So very proud of you. Well done. Mick, that's it from me for the moment. Turn it over to you.
Thank you, Jenny. So let's look at the contest, Road to Anaheim contest. We are, 11, 12 days into the month, and things are looking exciting. I won't name all of those that you can see here. You can find this at our Team Eagles website, but I do want to highlight that, let's just take it from the top 6, Joan McFadden, Amanda Schneider, Rachel Harries, Angelina Santana, Nikki Golly, Sarah Wall. Sarah leads, as you heard Jenny say, because her team member, Janelle Erickson, I should have mentioned Janelle as well, has completed her 2,000 plus fast track. And I want to highlight the fact that, let's see, Janelle, Nikki, and Sarah, I don't think I'm missing anyone, are all on team Amanda Schneider. And I noticed Amanda joined us. So congratulations to Amanda for your team doing great things. And we hear from Amanda that that is only going to increase in pace, right, Amanda? I see Amanda nodding her head. So Sarah Wall's leading, but we still have, best part of 3 weeks still to go. So lots of room for changes. And those of you who are competitive, don't let Sarah run away with it. Okay, let me move on to the topic tonight. I asked you to listen to our dear, dear friend Catherine Lee's short conference call. Here's the way I introduced it. It's so tempting to stop sharing, stop working the business. It's the season after all. but it doesn't have to be that way, and it shouldn't be that way. Catherine does such a beautiful job of explaining what she means. I'm going to play just a few minutes of the call, partly because, honestly, I've listened to it now 1, 2, 3 times, and I can't hear too much. I want to hear more. So Catherine will pick up her story after her story. If you want to hear her story, and you shouldn't miss it, then go back and listen to the whole thing. But she'll pick up at this point, and I'll stop her when I think we've heard enough.
To do that. And so I just want to encourage you and give you some foundational things. And they're so passionate. Why I said yes to Terry Luongo into this team was first because of you, but second because of this topic. Because a lot of people shut down over the holidays, and I am not asking you, if anybody knows me at all, you know I am not asking you to set aside the quality of this season in the sweetness of relationships, because I'm all about relationships. But what I am asking you to do is to consider that you have something of tremendous value to offer to people, both in the product and in this opportunity. Right now, there are some families that are wanting to buy certain things for their family for Christmas, and they can't because they're tight financially. There are others, of course, that are struggling. They have health issues in their family, or they have health goals that they're going to be thinking about. I mean, just walk around for a minute, and what you're going to hear people saying is stuff like, oh, I know I shouldn't be eating this. You know, I mean, everywhere you go, it's like, oh, this is my time to indulge, but it's just because it's the holidays, or they're making excuses or apologizing and or just saying this isn't normally me. Well, all of that is opportunity to say, oh, I know, that's why I do what I do. Well, what do you do, right? I'm a rep for a company that found a way to put fruits and vegetables in a capsule. You know, that is one of the reasons why this is such a perfect time of year. But there are people out there that are looking for a solution for their health or a booster for their health. They're already healthy and they're looking for more things to boost their health. But there's also people out there that are going to get a whole bunch of presents and still have no purpose in their life. And there's going to be people out there that go and spend time with family at Christmas, but still don't feel like they fit in anywhere, and they don't have a community that cares about them. We have so many solutions for this season that I just can't even imagine any of us keeping that to ourselves. And so I want to share that part with you, because I think the heart in which we open the conversations is the most important part, right, is the heart. The way we say something, the way we offer and say, you know, hey, I heard what you just said about, you know, your job, hating your job, or that it was hard to get off Christmas, or you're stressed, or, you know, I would love to talk to you when Christmas is over, you know, about this business. But in the meantime, you know, let me share the product with you, because if the product makes sense to you, the business might too, because this time next year, you may have some more options if you're not loving what you're doing. You know, and I love when we talk about the business with somebody, I can lead with the business, because if that's the need I see that somebody has, like I had, I wanted a business. I wanted something to work from home. And so I have no problem saying, you know, the business is something that could be of great value, but I immediately turn the product and say, so check out the product, because if the product makes sense to you, the business might too. You know, you have great value to offer. So remember the heart, because again, that's the most important part, is truly remember you have something of great value to offer to people, whether it's the product, whether it's the options for income, whether it's a positive community that makes a difference. All of those things people are craving in their lives right now. So move with that heart. But the second thing I want to tell you is start, right? We want to move with the right heart, but we want to start right now. I mean, now is the time to start. Why? Because if you will notice, I want you to pay attention. You are probably getting bombarded right now with ads and other things that talk to you about health and fitness. You know, anybody that, if you've ever bought any health product, they're going to start trickling on you right now. They're not quitting the conversation for the next 3 weeks. They're going to talk about giving the gift of health. They're going to at least put themselves in front of you. I call it file forwarding. They're going to file forward their name recognition, their brand recognition right now. Why? Because they know that starting December 26th, I want you guys to hear this, the day after Christmas is one of the top selling days of the entire year for health products. The day after Christmas. And definitely that first week is the absolute top time of the year, the surge from the 26th until the 10th of January, but especially the 26th being a peak day. And then, of course, you guys know would be the 2nd or the 3rd, depending on what day, if it's a weekend that New Year's Day falls on. Boom, people are thinking about those New Year's resolutions, shedding those pounds, right? I love that we have the 10-day shred, because we don't just shed them, we shred them, right? And so we have an opportunity, but you know what? You have to be filed forward. They want to think of you as the solution, and the only way that happens subconsciously is if you're filing forward your brand. Now, again, that's not bombarding anybody. That's simply letting people know what you're up to, what you're into, what you have to offer them. It's a beautiful thing to be able to say, I'm enjoying the holidays. Ooh, look at this, thing that I'm eating that is so decadent and lovely and so good. And I can't wait to now get that out of my system because I feel so much better. This may taste so good, but this feels so much better. And so we get to begin to establish that brand and establish the way of living that's more often. And remember, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, maybe 1 or 2 parties that people are going to go to, 3 if you're ultra social, right? So there may be 3 to 5 days of Christmas parties and situations that you can adjust for or you can choose to indulge in, right? There's 3 to 5, and then there's 1 or 2, maybe a Christmas, a New Year's Eve party or a New Year's Day party. So max, there's 7 days that are really the time to really just indulge if you want to, if that's somebody's choice. But there's a whole bunch of other days to share the other part of what we all do. So that's really important, is keep your brand out there.
Keep your brand out there. I'm going to unmute everybody. I'm going to ask a question that I will love to hear your answers to, because we all heard the same thing, but we didn't hear the same thing. So what did you hear? What really impacted you?
Stay in touch with people because they're going to think about you at an appropriate time, at a time that's real important, right after Christmas, right after New Year's. So be sure you stay in touch with people. Don't think it's just the season and avoid them.
Yep. Only a hermit on a mountaintop, that could be me, is not going to be around people in this next couple of weeks. We're all going to be around people. So yeah, did anybody hear, she didn't use the words, but let's be sowing more seeds in the next couple of weeks than we usually do, or than we ever do. Sowing seeds, not making sales, but sowing seeds.
One of the things I heard, Mick, was, I teach a lot about exactly what you just said then, sowing the seeds. That this is a fantastic time to be listening, maybe even more than sharing, but, share when you can, but definitely listening. But what I heard Catherine say was the 26th of December. And I've kind of always had in my head, like the 3rd of January, like after New Year, that if people aren't buying this minute, they probably won't buy until after January, after the New Year. But I think she's absolutely right that people start being serious about getting healthy on the 26th. So that spoke to me.
But Rachel, that's our Boxing Day.
Well, that's right. I mean, we might not be working, but oops, sorry, that's my phone. Sorry, but well, because it's not working anyway, is it? It's just sharing and living our lives. So we wouldn't be working. We would.
Good correction.
So, yeah. And he's always picking me up on that one. I don't work. I just have fun.
You definitely don't work, Rachel. Oh my gosh. You know how to live life to the full.
Yeah, that's a 4-letter word that we don't like to use.
The thing that I picked up from what Catherine said was that she wanted the business. And, you know, when we looked at this company, we wanted this business. Rachel, I know that when you looked at it, you wanted the business. And I think that's a difference between us and a lot of people who join us today. We need to be on the lookout for people who literally do want the business.
Right.
Who else?
That's one reason to lead with the business rather than just the product. I love what Catherine said about, you know, the business may be something that would be of interest to you, but meanwhile, let's get you started on the product. So it's still all about the product, but don't be afraid to invite people to take a look at what we're doing.
I love her verbiage, her terminology. If you like the product, then you might like the business. I would change that to love it. When you come to love the product, you may love the business too. Who else? What did you hear? Surprises.
I don't know if I necessarily heard it, or maybe I was thinking I heard it just because it's where my brain has been, but we really don't have a business where we can take time off for the holidays. I mean, everybody needs to hear our message, and it's not like, oh, I'm going to go be off for 2 weeks and not share this with anybody. It's like, it's kind of a selfish thing if you come across somebody that needs to hear the message. So that's kind of what I took away from it.
Yeah, I mean, she basically said, if your heart is in it, if your heart is in the right place, then you'll feel obligated to share because it's something that everybody needs. The product, certainly, and many people need the business too.
She repeatedly said, we have something of value. And that being kind of the driving force for us opening our mouths to be a little bit bold with our friends and relatives because we're offering something of value. We're not trying to sell them something. And she even, and I don't remember if it was in a clip you just played or what she said before, but she said at one point about, you know, she's all about relationships, which we know with Catherine Lee, and that she would never ever, you know, put Juice Plus ahead of the relationship. So she prefaced it with that, but then went on to say that we have something of such great value that we, you know, we must share it. We must, you know, put that to people and somehow convey that message of it being of value, not that, you know, we're selling fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, and that ties back to the key element of her story that we didn't hear tonight, but you hear at the beginning, where her sister-in-law, Kelly, called her because Kelly had received a Christmas letter from Wendy Campbell, and Kelly knew exactly where Catherine, her sister-in-law, was. The previous June, 6 months earlier, she'd lost a close friend about the same age, in her late 20s, to a brain aneurysm, if I remember rightly. And that was such a shock and such a wake-up call to Catherine, who was extremely overweight herself. And so her story was that she wanted to do something for her health, and she wanted to do something with a home-based business. And so when she decided to get started, and she just stressed the importance of getting started. When she decided to get started, she was already on a mission because she knew she was offering something that could help other people avoid the tragedy that her dear friend just experienced. So it ties to our inner belief system. Do we believe strongly that the Juice Plus product can really help people prevent disease, keep them healthy? Sorry.
You know, for a long time, I felt very awkward referencing Juice Plus in a Christmas letter. And I mention this because Catherine talks about the Christmas letter. But, you know, once I perceive the value that we have, then I have absolutely no problem including it. In fact, I was just working this past week on our Christmas letter, you know, and talking about family and travels and birthdays and so on. But I'll just read you the last paragraph I have here. Which says, and I'm just telling you this so that you might get an idea of what you might want to include in your Christmas letter. So the last paragraph, one, says, Mick and I continue to be fit and healthy thanks in part to Juice Plus, which we've taken faithfully every day for the past 23 years. The business gives us a sense of purpose, a reason to get up every morning, and it continues to pay us handsomely for our efforts. Retirement isn't even on the horizon. We love what we do. If you'd like to know more about Juice Plus, take a look at our website or simply reply to this email. And then I go on talking about Christmas. So just to give you an idea of the sort of thing you might choose to incorporate into something that you send out to friends and family this Christmas.
And when you hear the rest of Catherine's story, if you haven't already, you'll know that Wendy Campbell in her Christmas letter basically said, what am I up to? I'm a rep for a company that found a way to put fruits and vegetables into capsules. I thought we invented that, Jenny.
I think that's okay. We share.
I think we must have unintentionally heard it and copied it from Wendy Campbell. So another reason, Wendy Campbell.
You were in the business before her, though, Mick.
This is true.
You might have coined it. She might have copied it from you.
Well, I don't think so, because I think we came up with that when we were RVing, full-time RVers.
Ah, okay.
When people said, what do you do? We said, we represent a company that found a way to put fruits and vegetables in a capsule.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're right, Rachel. We've been in the business longer, and as you all know, we've been very successful with the business. Wendy has not been in the business as long as we have, but she's become way more successful than we ever aspired to be. So
She's worked way harder than we ever have.
That is also true.
50 different varieties every day.
What
Hey,
else?
I wanted to just welcome Lupita to the call. Dorothy, I know you invited Lupita to join us this evening. It's so good to see you. I know you're brand new.
Thank you.
Hello, Lupita. Welcome. Someone else. What else did you hear? Sandy, you're unmuted. Does that mean you've got something to say?
Mick,
Yes.
yeah, and I got here late, so I don't know what all you said. I was at a dinner that ran long. No, and I think one of the things that has always impressed me about Catherine is that she's never pushy, but she's very consistent, and I think that's what she's showing in this in you know, this talk was that is that just consistency and I'm afraid not to. It's not, you know, fly by night. I mean, then I've been here 20 plus years. I've been here 20 plus years. Rachel, so you know, take that from those that are new, take that story and realize that this is a long-term thing. It's not just, you know, okay, I'm jumping in right now because this sounds good. It's because we're here to stay. So, but that's always been my impression of Catherine, is that longevity and that consistency.
Yeah, that's right, Sandy. You'll remember that our sponsor, Kurt Beavers, his mother, Jackie, before she decided to become part of this business, she went to home office, she interviewed the leadership of the company, including Jay Martin, the president, and her question was, will this company and will this business still be around for my grandchildren? And the coolest thing is that one of the newest sales coordinators on Kurt Beer's team, Jackie's son's team, is Hope, Jackie's granddaughter.
daughter. Mhm.
You gotta love that.
Yeah. Yep.
So Catherine also talked about the opportunity we have. So 5 specific times on average before Christmas that we will be around people, often around people that we haven't seen, maybe haven't met before or haven't been around for quite some time. Jenny, why don't you catch your mind back to the dinner party we attended on Saturday night? We knew 2 of the couples, the other 2 couples we didn't know, and you sat next to Bob. And how was your conversation?
Yes, I sat next to Bob, who was an older gentleman, and I can say that because he was older than us. And we just got in the conversation. I hadn't met him before. At some stage, I said, Bob, I'm that you are retired. Of course, you have to be careful when you say that to people in case they're not as old as they look. But I said, what did you retire from? So he told me, and then he asked me what we do and started telling me about his son, who has worked in the field of DNA research and recently started up his own company or whatever. But anyway, it got us onto the subject of nutrition. And he told me that he tried various things in the past. One thing in particular was a green protein drink, which he took for a while. And he said then he stopped taking it, stopped drinking it. So, you know, he's on my follow-up list. This was only on Saturday. I had not been in touch. But he will definitely be getting some information specifically about the juice plus complete, because he was very positive, but he stopped using it. It was one of the green drinks. And so you never know. You never know who you're going to meet. So take advantage of these gatherings and these get-togethers. And, you know, as we said, sow the seeds. It would have been totally inappropriate to be too aggressive about what we do, but we're sowing seeds, we're gathering information so that we can then follow up.
I take every opportunity to tell people that I really am old, but I don't take any medication, and I'm in better health than I was 30 years ago. Sometimes it leads to a good conversation. Sometimes they just kind of blow it off. But you know that you've sown some seed. You know that there's a good chance at some point down the road they'll come back and say, so what is it? That juice stuff? I love it when I hear that. Okay, did anyone else hear anything that they'd like us not to miss? Because I really hope that you will go and listen to Catherine Lee just one more time with pen in hand, hovered over your page, ready to take copious notes. Because her verbiage is so good and her heart is so full. I just love that woman.
I think pretty much everybody is muted, Mick. So if you want to unmute everybody and just have a few final words, and we'll.
All unmuted and lots of background noise. Love it. Well, I mentioned an hour before we started on in our Facebook group that this will be our last Zoom before January. We want you and us to really enjoy the festive season and to be out there sowing seeds and ready on December 26th to start taking all those orders. Don't forget January the 2nd. So 1 week after that key date of December 26th, we start our next shred 10. And that means you've got that week in order to get those orders placed so that your new customers and your older customers can join our shred and be benefiting from Juice Plus and shredding those naughty habits, but some nice habits. Close it out, Jenny.
Okay, well, wish everybody a very Merry Christmas or Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, whatever. And we also look forward to seeing several of you who are on the call tonight in Las Vegas in January. I don't know whether there are still a few spots left, and maybe. I know our house is full now, and we're very excited. We've been to the Las Vegas boot camp several times in the past. It is really a fabulous weekend, lots and lots of fun. So if that doesn't work for you, find an event somewhere close to home that you can attend, because I tell you, it will really raise your belief system in the products, the company, the people, and everything else. It'll spur you on to greater heights in 2017. And I know we have a lot of promotions to look forward to in the new year. Some senior sales coordinators, mentioning their names, and many others. All right, so we will talk to you in January. Good night, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, Merry Christmas.
God bless.